Are you tired of having what is rightfully yours stolen away from you? Not even sure what you've been robbed of? Well, today on the Finding Traction podcast, stop the steal. Now, I have been properly accused of creating clickbait from time to time. Guilty as charged. In fact, if you go to my YouTube channel, Vern Tomke, I make YouTube videos of many of these same podcasts, and you will see some very creative pictures that I've used and added to many of these podcasts. But again, guilty as charged on the clickbait. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, my guess is that the term stop the steal might bring to mind a different picture or a different concept. But no, this is not a political podcast. I fooled you. But I am here today to talk about porn and about the things that it has robbed us of. And we want to talk about that and how you can stop the steal. How can I get my life back? So today, that is our topic, stop the steal. Now, I'm not sure if you've had the experience of being stolen from or robbed of. Maybe you had your car broken into, or perhaps you left something valuable at a place and then you came back and found it missing. The feelings of anger and feeling violated or feeling cheated. All of that is what happens when we've been robbed from or it's stolen from or cheated. And, it's interesting. The Bible has this whole teaching about evil. It describes evil as being personified. And it goes on and declares that this personal evil force is a thief. And that person, their primary purpose is to steal, kill, and destroy everything that we hold near and dear. Now, even if you struggle with that sort of biblical concept, I think most of us who struggled with an addiction like porn and related behaviors, we would identify at some level that we have been robbed from. Maybe that's a new concept from you. In fact, I would say that sometimes the very beginning of the road to recovery is beginning to see our addictive behaviors in a new light. You might just be starting to dawn on you for the first time. You know what? I think I'm the loser in this transaction with porn. Yeah, it does bring me pleasure and I guess escape for a period of time. But the net effect of me partnering with it seems to leave me in a worse place than when I started. It robs from me. Not only does it rob from me, but it beats me up. It's like it mugs me. It leaves me. It takes all of my money and leaves me in the ditch, bruised and bleeding. I feel mugged when I'm done the transaction with it. Now, you might say, well, that's a little melodramatic, but I do want to share I'm just going to share 2 or 3 areas how I, in my life, have recognized that I have been stolen from and my efforts to stop the steal, so to speak. First of all, I just came to identify that porn robbed me as an individual. If there was one word I would use that summed up my entire interactions with porn and what it cost me, it would be this word, confidence. Confidence at every level. Confidence at looking at myself when I looked in the mirror. Confidence in my sense of self. Confidence in my parenting. Confidence in my role as a husband and confidence in my spiritual walk with God. It robbed me of confidence at every level. I felt like, I can't beat this thing. This thing is a monkey on my back and it just makes me feel like a loser. It robs me as an individual. Here's another area that it robs me. It robs me, and it robbed me in the area of my marriage. Studies have shown that men who regularly look at porn, they have a much greater level of unhappiness and discontentment with their marriage partner. You go, well, go figure, huh? Well, it's true. In fact, I remember watching this video. I can't even remember the name. Maybe you can, if you know the name of it, you can email it to me. It was called Every Man's Daughter or Somebody's Daughter. And this couple, I think they were a musical, he was a musician or whatever. So there's a few hints. But anyways, this couple was talking about his struggle with porn. And this is what they said. And it stuck with me. Their comment stuck with me years later. They said this: it robbed me, this guy shared, it robbed me of my ability to enjoy growing older with my wife. It left me hollowed out, discontented with my wife, and I wasn't able to grow older with her and enjoy the passage of time. I mean, that's a huge cost. Some people, I have had different people say to me, this whole problem with porn or people's problem with porn, it's just this whole religious shame-based construct, and we just need to stop being so repressed and get over it, and it's no big deal. I would say, most wives instinctively know at some level that this is a threat. I don't know how many wives, if they knew that what their husband's doing is instinctively going to make them unhappier, not only with themselves, but unhappier with you as a wife and more discontented with you as a marriage partner. I think most women would go, well, I'm not cool with that. And so it robbed me of my marriage, and it robs people in their marriages. And I think the last one is it robbed me of a sense of vision and calling in my life. Now, for me, my spiritual component has a big part of that. But let me just say, for me, porn just made me self-centered. It made me narcissistic. I became a taker as opposed to a giver. What can I get from relationships? And I think the best version of me is somebody that's called to give out to other people, called to reach out into the brokenness of the world and bring healing and hope to other people. But when I was in porn, that just shriveled up. There was no sense of that in my life. And it robbed me of that entire part of my life that wanted to make a good difference in the world around me. There's one other biblical concept, I'm getting biblical today, that I think a verse that's really helped me. Again, it's also from the New Testament, and it describes the evidences of what is called the kingdom of God. And really the kingdom of God is there's three markers that describe a person who's living in a way which is consistent with the kingdom of God: right living, peace, and joy. I think all of us could identify with those. When I am living right, I am in a healthy, whole, integrated place. I can look at myself in a mirror. I can feel good about my life and my interactions with people. I feel like I am somebody that is being who I've been created to be. Right living. Peace is simply, I have this settled sense of well-being. I think Jewish people, call it shalom. My life is not in turmoil. I'm at peace with me and the world around me. And the last one is joy, which is, I can enjoy life. I can laugh. I can live a life of gratitude. Those three: right living, peace, and joy. You know what? Porn robbed me of all of that. I want to regain that. I've been telling people as I've turned 60, I want the next 10 years of my life to be marked by joy. I want to laugh more than I've ever laughed. I want to enjoy life. I want to be able to have a sense of well-being in what I do throughout the week. Those are just a few quick areas in terms of how porn robbed me and how I seek to stop the steal, so to speak. What's far more important to me is the realization that you may be coming to that you have been robbed. That somehow you are on the short end of the stick when it comes to your interactions with porn. I'd love to hear from you. If you could email me at bandofbrothers@shaw.ca. I'd love to hear just some of your thoughts as to how maybe you have been robbed and how you have worked at stopping the steal, so to speak. I'd love to maybe even share some of those. I'll change the names so I wouldn't identify you, of course. So, but that would be a cool future episode. So here we go. Stop the steal. Stop the steal. There you go. Let's do it. And here's the good news. This is actually one area that you can actually do something about, as opposed to that other area that you really are probably not going to affect. And this is going to have a much bigger effect on your life. So God bless you. We'll see you next time.